Hey everyone, it's Miss Nguyen here, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick demo of how you can use Teams. So on your left side is the navigation menu, or also known as the app toolbar. Here, the default apps are Activity, Chat, Teams, Calendar, Calls, and Files. So Teams is great because you could chat with anybody in your organization directly. You can also give them a call if you want to schedule a quick meeting. You could schedule your calls or meetings with the calendar, and then Teams is where you can work and collaborate with different people. If you would like to add more apps, that's where these three dots are. You might see assignments as an app that's already here by default as well. So if you weren't using Google Classroom, then you can actually assign work to your students through assignments. And all New York City Department of Education students, they have Teams as well, but a lot of them don't realize that they have this set up with their suite. Anyways, so let me now bring you to how you can change your settings so that you could view your teams differently. Right now, this is a default. Your teams is in grid view. For me personally, I find this hard to navigate, so I'm going to go to the three dots right here for settings, click settings, and then I'm going to go from my layout from grid to list. If you want your theme to change, you can also go to dark mode or high contrast. I personally like dark mode because it's better on your eyes, but for this demo, I'm going to put the default settings and exit out. So now I'm in my teams, and again, these are workplaces that you could collaborate with either your department, your SLC, or you could even create a teams. Unfortunately, the DOE has blocked you creating a team. They used to allow you to create any team you want. Now you have to message DIIT in order to get a team created. So the team that I want you to focus on is the New York High School team that you should be invited to sometime by the end of this week. And this is where you can collaborate, send messages, files, or anything funny or silly also, announcements, bulletins to your colleagues at Newtown. So it's really nice about having a team is that for something that's quick and simple, you could ask people in a Teams channel instead of sending an email to the person. And oftentimes people will check their Teams a lot quicker, especially the chat function, which I'll go over in a bit. But since we're at the Teams, I'm just going to continue to talk about this. So here for Newtown High School, each of these are called channels. The first channel is always the general channel, so this is where you can post any messages you'd like. Eric Checo had made a post on a YouTube video. If you click it, it's actually the video of one of our students who had been entered into some sort of music competition, I believe. But anyway, so let's say you post something in general, then other people can reply and respond to it. So this is pretty cool. You can also put some reactions to it, and then you can reply yourself. What's cool about replying is that you can also format your replies. You can make things bold, italicize, or use any of these formatting settings. You could send another attachment. You could put an emoji. You could send a GIF, sticker, and so on and so forth. You could explore these for yourself. Okay, these formatting settings and these other little features you could do is also in the chat as well. So anyways, I'm going to get out of the general. There are other channels such as best practices. Here I put a post of some best practices you can take, how to best utilize our Newtown High School team. Here's where bulletins and memos have been posted. Right now you only see messages from me because this is where I've been tinkering with our teams for some time, so I've been posting some things as examples. Here's a channel for just for fun, so let's say you want to send a funny meme or a video, this is the perfect place to send it. PLOs, traps, sell, questions you might have, for example, hey, does anyone know when the next SAT day is? People can reply to this. So let's say you have a simple question. Instead of emailing a bunch of people, you can just post it on a channel and somebody in our school will see it and respond to it. This is where you can post resources for students, tutorials, etc. Now below that, you will also be invited to a department team and an SLC team. So here's the business department team and some best practices for your departments is any questions you have specifically for your department, you can always start a new conversation and post. This is just a silly picture that my department had taken some time ago and I reposted it. Now, if you look at the top of a channel, and all of these channels have these options as well, up here, these are called tabs. So let me go back to the business department one, and the tabs that are by default is posts and files. And then I also add a meeting minutes tab, which we use OneNote for. Let's say you want to integrate with your Google Drive. Maybe you and your colleagues mostly use Google Drive. So you can also add a tab for Google Drive. And then I'm just going to, let's say I signed in, but if I signed in, you'll be able to see the Google Drive. Okay. Let's say my department does, we do something called ESPs. So I bookmarked this one as well. I'd have to enter my email so I can enter it. And then there's even one more, which is lists. Lists is great. This tab I added because you can, let's say you have a project with your team, you're organizing some event with just the business students, let's say, and you could do a work progress tracker, and it essentially creates a action plan. So you could play with these settings to see how that works, but you could assign assignments, and I'm not going to go over this because this will take a little too long. So let me just cancel this out. Anyways, so again, these are your tabs in your channel. And if you want to add more tabs, tabs are essentially different applications that you could pin to the top. The ones that I suggest the most are websites and OneNote and lists. So you could actually tab Newtown High School to the top. So let's say I want to put Newtown High School, I click website, NHS website, and then I just put the URL www.newtownhighschool.org. I think they want me to put HTTPS. Okay, there it is. Okay, so then I'm going to save it. And then now I have NHS tab to the top. So you could tab almost anything here. A Google Drive, some meeting minutes. For meeting minutes, I, again, personally like OneNote. So if I click here and I go to OneNote, I can add this. And what's great about OneNote is that you can put meeting minutes and create some sort of template. And then let's say you have another meeting the next week or the week after, so the 10th and 17th, 24th, then we'd have another meeting. I could just right click and there's one that says, oh, here it is, move and copy. And then you could just copy and bam, there's another minute. I could just drag it to the top and then let's say we met June 1st. And then I just type it in. So instead of creating a million different documents for your minutes, instead it's put into a really organized notebook. And it's transparent, your whole department can see it, and you can easily share it with your AP because your AP will be in your department and she or them can check any of the minutes they need. So Teams is wonderful in having that sort of transparency and collaboration. Okay, so this is a team. Feel free to play around with it. It did take me a little bit of time to get used to, but after you get used to it, it's just an easier way to communicate and collaborate with people and share documents. All right, now I'm going to go to the chat function. So the chat function, you can chat with anybody at Newtown High School, and you just click this top right here, and you could find a person's name. Let's say I want to talk to, I don't know, Jennifer Hanley, and I just look her up. I can find her, and I can say, oh, hey, Jen, how's everything going? Okay, so you can talk to anybody in the school very quickly. Let's say you get a question, you want to talk to a staff member, you want to ask a programming issue, you want to talk to Miss Voda, anybody you can connect to very quickly instead of having to email them and wait for a response. Here you could see if somebody's available or not. So I know that Jennifer Hanley, she is offline. Miss Gonzalez is idle. Nazario is idle. This is my husband. He's external, meaning he's not within Newtown High School, but you could chat with somebody who, if they use Teams, and you could chat with them. So I often send in messages during work to remind them to do things, etc. And then it says it's external. Okay. You can also pin Teams. So I pinned a few. You just right click and then you pin it. Okay. So these are people that I talk to most often. All right, now I'm going to go to my calendar. So here is next week. My morning meetings and then my anime club stuff. So you could change your view from weekly to a work week or even today. I usually keep it at work week. What I like about the calendar is that you can, let's say you want to meet people right now, you want to chat with, let's say I need to talk to Mr. Nazario, and I know that he's available because I messaged him and I said I saw he was available. So what I could do is I could click Meet Now, meeting with Eileen, and then you get a shareable link. And you can copy this link and just send it to somebody via email or in the chat, and people get to meet with you right now, right then and there. Okay. Now you can also schedule meetings. So you click New Meeting, and then you can add the title. So this is just like a standard calendar invitation. But what's really nice is that since everybody is on Teams, you can see if people are available or not. So let's say I need to meet with Eric Checo. Oops. Meeting about tech. I don't know. And then I need to meet with Eric Checo. So here's Mr. Checo, and he's free on the 30th at 10:30 p.m. Obviously, he's free because nobody's working right now. But let's say I needed to meet him on, I don't know, Tuesday, a work day, and I need to meet him at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if he had a meeting, it would say not available, but he's free. I don't know what his schedule's like, but you could basically see in advance if people have time or not to meet with you. Okay, you could post this on a channel if you'd like to. So I don't suggest this because unless you all have a channel that, like, let's say I was in the same channel as him, maybe we're in Trep, and this was a meeting in Trep, then sure, I'd post on a channel. But you could just ignore that. Write the meeting details, press send. And what's really nice about this is that for every thing you post in your calendar, they automatically send a Teams meeting link. So for example, these are my morning meetings with my business department, and Teams automatically generate a conference link with you, so you don't have to do it yourself. It's just automatic. And say that 8 a.m. rolls by and I need to join this meeting, then you'll see a little button that says join, and I can just click the button and automatically jump onto the meeting. So this is your calendar. Okay, calls. This is where you can call anybody in your organization right away. These are some of my outgoing calls. You'll see that I bother my husband once in a while because he's always working and I'm always working. So if I need to give him a call, I'll call him. Or I'll call Ms. Berkowitz or whoever. And then you can make a speed dial of people that you call most frequently. Okay, and I think that's about it. So if you have any questions regarding Teams, feel free to reach out to me and I'll do my best to help you out. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. And again, if you have questions, just let me know.